How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Roller 31. Mega, welcome to Indy Week for the Cup Series. Tell us what we learned today in the Xfinity race.
We learned that we hate Pocono last week, and we
Yes.
learned that you can finish third and win a race,
Yeah.
and that some like snitch really hates Joe Gibbs Racing, and that Denny Hamlin's just as bad as Ross Chastain. So we learned a lot from Cup last week. From Xfinity today, I don't think it's going to be the same because I don't think you're going to have one person go out there and dominate like AJ did. I think we learned a lot about Ty Gibbs.
Yeah.
He kind of struggled today, made some mistakes. AJ was able to overcome pit mistakes.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty clean racing. I think we learned that the course is in
I
really
like
good
it.
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
good.
didn't seem like there were any mechanical issues or failures or anything that nature. I did watch a little bit of practice and qualifying, and I saw Corey
Mhm.
LaJoy spinning out everywhere and Denny Hamlin missing like turns, and
Yeah.
so
Danny struggled.
so so
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a race where we're probably going to play very few guys up top. It's going to be almost be like a plate race. We're going to not going to play anybody down at the bottom because they're all putrid except for about two or three of them. I think
Hmm.
we're going to live in the 20s here.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get into that. I just wanted a couple of quick talking points you already alluded to. Pocono was just an outrageous experience. Not much for DK, but just the viewing experience. We did have the weird tape on the bumper on the front. I think it's the front right and front left in between the seams of the car. I don't know. They
They
tried to
sent out
explain it.
they
I
sent out a
couldn't
memo
understand.
warning against it on like Wednesday. Like they knew
Yeah,
that like some teams were going to try it, and
yeah.
then I heard that they ripped off the tape before they even got to the inspection area and were like, "Aha!" So I mean, it seems like a little bit of a conspiracy there. But
There is
anyways,
a lot of conspiracy going on, but either way, Chase has announced the winner. Denny has the trophy. None of it makes any sense to me, and I hate that for NASCAR because it just clouds the whole event in a nutshell. And Pocono, the race itself wasn't that bad.
no,
It just
some
that
hard
puts
crashes.
yeah, man, I don't know if we're gonna see that every year with the next gen car, but man, that was yeah, interesting dynamic there with that. And we have tight straightaways here at Indy, so I'm not sure what we're gonna see with this, but we don't want to spend too much time on recap and whatnot.
The one thing I think we really need to is we got to see what kind of tire they bring here because
Yeah.
they were flat spotting tires in the
Oh
Xfinity
man,
race like
every
really bad,
20
and
20 laps.
these tires are so thin that we've seen issue after issue that
Right.
I again, so that makes me like fearful for like the usual suspects like Larson and Bubba Wallace that
Wallace,
just
yeah.
you know
First name coming to mind.
if
Stenhouse,
you know
um, guys like that. Yeah. All right, so we'll take all this information. Let's conjure it up here into I don't know. Let's you want to start with the top,
yeah, we'll
bottom?
just start with the top and just and go straight through.
Okay, so I like Reddick. I know you don't have him here as like a no, accelerate, really good road course driver, and that's fair. He did win Road America. The car, I think it's the same. Terrible at Sonoma,
Well, he
really
lost
good.
his he had a pit error and then he lost his brakes. He was doing decent in that one. So that 35 is kind of if you see on the screen, I was nice enough to actually put the different
I like
finishing
that. Yeah,
spots there.
yeah, that's really good info. Yeah, Reddick looks like a really good car. I think he just really nailed qualifying. I wouldn't consider him to be the AJ Allmendinger of this
No.
cup race. I think he just had a really good qualifying run. He did 2 laps. He had a lot of wear off on his tires. It really made the difference when it came to qualifying. I wouldn't say he has the car to beat. He does have track position. We know that's very key into leading laps. There are only 82 laps though. So it's not a big thing. Finishing the race in the right position and starting it in the right position is what we're going to be keying on here. Um, I think Reddick is a good cash play. I don't think he'll be in my cash lineup, but I think he's a good play, and I think he'll be in my player pool.
He does have a win, so he is safe. So he probably would be going for the win and not worrying about stage points here also.
Correct.
So
Right. Yeah, he's in. He needs points though. I
yes,
mean, you got to think of it like there's a lot of guys, a lot of different guys with wins now. So now
right,
we have to kind of readjust our playoff mentality. Like guys are starting to need playoff points regardless if they have a win. So if you don't have many playoff points, you're going to have to go for playoff points from this day forward because you don't know what's going to happen in Daytona in a couple weeks,
right.
and who knows who wins this road course. So, um, yeah, it's an interesting dynamic to the races now that we're getting closer to playoff time. Austin Cindric, your thoughts?
Actually, really like him here, probably even more than Reddick. I know Reddick has the win, but if you look at Cindric, like seventh average overall, eighth, fifth, seventh, just been fastest in practice, just hasn't been able to put together to actually win the race. So I think he can definitely hang up in the top five. So I think he's cast viable, and you're saving like $900 here too. So just a starting position. If he outbreaks them and gets out ahead of Reddick, and Cindric was much better in Xfinity than Reddick was at road courses. I mean, it's this new road course thing for Reddick. Like he's practiced a lot, but Cindric had mastered it before him, so
Yeah.
I could see him potentially getting out in front.
Isn't it crazy that the first four drivers are all guys that were within the Xfinity
Yeah,
race,
like last
Xfinity
3 years. Yeah.
series in less than 2-3 years?
Yep.
Christopher Bell, star in the Xfinity series. Chase Briscoe, star in the Xfinity series. Reddick won the Daytona
Well, keep in
500 in
mind,
Xfinity.
before COVID,
All
they only ran Cup at Sonoma, Washington Glen. There's 2 races a year, and most of them just bit their
right.
lip and did it because they had to do it, and you had like a ton of ringers come in for it, and everybody else just kind of went through the motions. It wasn't until like last few years that they've had to do so many road courses.
And now they've brought Xfinity along to every one of these road courses, and now
Right.
you're seeing these guys that are coming up really good at road courses. Cindric, really good on road courses. Briscoe, this is a home track road course that he knows so well. Bell, road course ringer, so to speak. I mean, he's really good on road courses. So I like all four of these guys. They're all going to be in my player pool. If I had to rank them, I think I would go Cindric,
Yes.
Reddick,
Yes.
Briscoe, Bell.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Cindric is probably the best one. Reddick, from what his recent form is.
Yep.
Briscoe, because it's his home track and he knows how to shift, and we've always said that's kind of advantage in this car. Bell, the only reason is the Toyotas have been like not really had really good speed on the road courses. So, I
Yeah.
mean, he's been kind of the exception. And
Right.
Sonoma, we got to throw out all the Gibbs cars because they were the ones
That
that we
was
just
it.
wanted to throw our fists through the TV because they all pitted at lap 104 because they thought the fresh tires and a caution would come out, and
I
it
was
didn't.
winning thousands.
Oh, yeah. 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 Me too.
I won't forget it.
Yep.
I won't ever forget it.
Yep.
All right, so that's enough on them because we got short on time. We could
Yep.
spend all day about how interesting this top four is. Logano, I agree, fade,
Yep.
no part of it. Ryan Blaney, I I'm stuck
The
because
numbers
look
look
at the
good, but he
it
just
looks
doesn't get it done.
yeah yeah I don't know.
Like looking at all the
I'd
other like
rather play Briscoe for sure.
yeah.
I'd rather play Bell for sure. Man, the practice looked good and the results don't look bad. It's just I don't think there's any. I don't know if there's any upside here.
No.
Like, does he win a GVP if he finishes sixth?
I
Is
don't
he in
I
the
don't
winning
think
lineup?
so. Yeah, I don't think so. So,
I
yeah.
don't. I don't know. I don't know. If he doesn't lead a lap and he just finishes like eighth or something, does it work? I don't know.
He's a good FanDuel play.
Okay, there we go. We'll play him on FanDuel. Michael McDowell, 7,300. I'm in.
Awesome FanDuel play.
I'm
But
in.
he's
I'm
starting
in.
way too far forward here, but if you look at like his averages 13th, 3rd, and 8th, like he could potentially still finish in the top 10. He's become a decent road course driver and actually an all-around driver recently. Like it's been
Yeah.
Michael McDowell renaissance year.
I think if he finishes somewhere in that top 10 at 7,300, he's a much better play than Blaine. Like
Oh,
Blaney and
absolutely.
McDowell, the difference is the price tag. Like if they're both going to do the same thing and finish somewhere inside the top 10, I'd rather have the guy that's 7,300 than 9,200,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes sense to me. And I think McDowell in front row, and this is the big key here. McDowell and Gilliland both qualified in the top 10. That tells me they have a lot of good setups for this road course. And that's what really sells me on McDowell, because I have much more faith that he is going to be more consistent in his driving. Chase Elliott, 10-6, really good on road courses. Have you heard?
Yeah. Yeah, especially these fake road courses. So yeah, I think he's the top play here. He's the second overall with the three road courses they've run
He's
this year. Chastain's number
unbelievable
one. He's
form.
number two. And definitely I think a little bit of place differential here. I think he works his way up and
Yeah.
gets out there a chance to win it. Nothing but good things here. Even if he falls back a little bit, you're not losing as much place differential as you are if you play like Reddick for like $600 less.
Sure. Yeah, no, Chase is in incredible form. I mean, you got to ride the Chase heater. So it's a cash block for me. Todd Gilliland,
Too far forward. Like it's so sad. I
yeah,
wish he was. If he
yeah,
was like 19th, we would have been all like he would have been a lock. But too.
yeah. Even if he was like starting 15th, I would
Yeah.
even play him then. But ninth, you're asking a lot.
Hmm.
There
When
could
his
there could be
average is 22nd, so
if he finishes like 16th, that -8 in your lineup doesn't do well. So
no,
yeah, I'm out. Kyle Busch, GPP.
no. He's like, I don't know if it's the contract year or what, but he's
Well,
just like
now
toast.
there's a lot of distractions in the Kyle Busch camp.
Yeah,
He's technically a free agent. Doesn't look like he's going to go back to Gibbs, so he's kind of in no man's land. I've
and
actually heard the rumor that if Junior buys a charter, he might roster Kyle Busch. I've heard this random rumor. Yeah, I know we're close to silly season, and
right.
I heard this rumor and I about dropped my freaking, I don't know. Yeah, I almost lost it, because to think that Junior's first Cup driver would be Kyle Busch, just that makes no sense. That would be an interesting story, and I think it'd be amazing for NASCAR. So that's what I
I think he'd end up in like Bubba would get booted out of 2311. He'd fall down there more than anything. But
or you take his brother's ride at
yeah,
45. I don't know. Interesting
but
stuff
look
for
at
sure.
the finishes. He's too aggressive. He
Yeah,
uses his car up and he cuts down tires and makes
yeah,
mistakes on pit road. They run here counterclockwise. It's not a natural way that they usually pit. So like 28th, 30th, 29th finishes, absolutely not. 10th in practice, don't care. GPP to fade.
yeah. Okay. Daniel Suarez at 9,400, recent winner at the Sonoma Raceway.
Yes.
So,
Well, he was first at Sonoma. He was fifth at Road America.
yeah.
He was 24th in Coda, but he had some a pit penalty there. So,
Mhm.
and he was doing well there. So,
Right.
here's the hard thing, though. I want to fit him in my cash lineup, but I can't.
No,
So
the price tag.
he was the first one in my GPP lineup just because I want to play him,
Yeah.
but I just could not fit him in cash. If something weird happens and like one of the guys in my cash lineup like has to start from the rear or like it looks like they're having mechanical problems or something and I got to switch off them, then I definitely put him in, but just I can't fit this price in. But he's a great if you can make it work then good. He's a great solid play here.
Yeah, I like him for GPPs for sure. 9,400 is too expensive for a cash play. He's an interesting play, that's for sure. He will definitely be in my roster construction for GPPs. Brad Keselowski 6,800 is a no for me.
He's a GPP starting way too far forward. Like he's actually, if you take out the 33 at Road America, he hasn't been bad, and he was sixth in practice. But and keep in mind that his partner here on his team, Chris Buescher, has really found something. It was terrible at
Oh
Coda,
yeah.
but second at Sonoma and sixth at Road America. So, same team. I mean, six in practice here. So, I I don't want to. I can't completely feed him. I don't think I'll be playing a lot of him, but you got to leave the door open for him in GPP.
Interesting. I'm definitely not playing the next guy. Everybody that listens to the
Right.
show knows I don't play Harrison Burton.
Yeah, starting way too far forward here. So,
Yeah,
yep.
easy fade. And Raquel Marola, probably another one for me.
Yeah, GPP to fade. Not
Mhm.
really a road course guy.
Yeah, this next guy's a fade for me as well. Denny Hamlin, 89.
Yeah,
Weekend of trouble so far. I'm
yeah. I
out.
know. I know he was going to try. He almost won the race last year, but it's a completely different car until Briscoe spun him out.
Yeah,
Um, but he has been horrible and slow on the road courses here. He missed a
yep.
couple of the turns in practice.
No,
I
can't.
don't see anything really good for him, and I hope a lot of people do play
Oh,
him
I
just
hope so too.
based on like his history and not
Yep.
looking at like current data. So
Yep. Yeah, we hope that is the case. Chris Busher, yes.
yeah, again, I couldn't fit him in my cash, but he also went in my GPP lineup just because I wanted to have some exposure. Just starting 16th, I know practice is like 20th, but like you only got like 5 to 7 laps. A couple, only like I think 9 or 10 cars got 10 lap averages, so they really didn't give him much time to run a lot out there. But he's looked really good on this, and actually,
Yeah.
I think we were down on him last road course in one of our
Well, because he was starting like sixth or
right,
something. Like,
and one of our viewers said, you know what, you probably should play him. His form has been really good, and we looked back and said, I guess he actually has been, and he has done well. So,
well, we
thanks.
always thought the bottom would drop out. Like
Right,
just the law of averages would come to fruition, and it
right,
just didn't. And that happens.
yeah,
But yeah, it looks like Busher is tailing himself into some type of road course
yeah.
ringer.
I made him.
I mean, it's
He
interesting.
got his baby boost stripe tonight.
Got his baby boo. I mean, look at
Yeah,
this. This is wild. I'm in. Justin Haley, yes. You don't need any more for me. I love this play tomorrow.
yeah. I mean, a little bit far forward, but he's been
Oh
pretty
yeah,
solid too. Besides,
exactly where I wanted him.
yeah,
I think that low ownership. I mean, perfect. I think he could top 12. I mean that he loves this racetrack. The 31 car in Colleague is not a bad car. It's actually the 16 that is a really bad Colleague car. So Haley is I'd rather play Haley for $2,000 cheaper than his teammate who just won the race, and that says a lot. Kevin Harvick, no.
yeah. I think you can play him in cash though. He's been really look at his road courses: 11th, 4th, and 10th. Eighth
Everyone's
overall
going to be
finish.
looking at this, and I know Kevin Harvick. There is a moment waiting to happen. I'm taking a stand here. I mean, none of it makes sense. You
I'm
know,
not saying he's a priority in cash, but I think definitely, with Chase Briscoe on his team, I think these Stewart Haas cars have been decent on road courses this year. So I think the door's open for him in cash. Again, so I'm not saying he's a priority like some of these other guys, but I think he's playable there.
something's brewing, and I know it's Kevin Harvick just completely sucking tomorrow. And I'm not going to get sucked into 35% ownership. I might have like 20 or something low as like 15% ownership, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
get
that's fine.
stuck. Yeah, I'm not going to get stuck with Harvick not showing up with a bad car setup at Indy and just the averages just kind of playing
Well, he was
himself.
14th in practice, so I mean the setup's there. He qualified 18th, so
Oh, he's
not
blowing
like
a tire for sure.
okay.
No, listen, I have nothing substantial to back up this claim.
That's fine.
I just think at his ownership, I think I'm ready to fade a potential meltdown. Bubba Wallace, no thanks. Not even close.
Hell no. Yeah, he
Absolutely
has
not.
finished dead last. He even broke the 18 car today.
Yeah, I did. He drove it into the draft.
He didn't even finish the Xfinity race.
Yeah, no
The one
chance.
who we were supposed to practice to get better.
If you're looking for a sub 5% play, right here.
Yes.
Well, you'll have your Bubba truthers. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had any sense, you're not playing them.
No.
Allmendinger 8,200 is going to be naturally high owned. I think it could be a trap. 20th position. If I'm going
But
to fade Harvick, I'm got to play Allmendinger. But
yeah,
man, I don't
and
like the
here's the
16
thing.
car. I
Here's the
don't.
thing. Okay. He was leading at Coda, got spun out. Want to take a guess who spun him out?
Josh Dane, I already know.
Yes, Chastain. So I mean, he was doing really well there. Sonoma struggled a little bit. I think they had like a
Just
mechanical
didn't
issue
have the
there,
right car.
but
Yeah.
looked really good at Road America. So two out of the ones he's been decent in there, and I think the reason the 16 car has struggled is because you've had Hemrick in it also,
Yeah.
and Hemrick's not Allmendinger. Allmendinger is a much superior driver, so I just he knows it. He won it last year out of nowhere. Again, it was a different car, but it was still the 16. It was still the Cully car, and I think that I don't think he's going to dominate, but I think, and I don't have the prime tag on him, but he's
Yeah.
definitely going to probably be the fourth guy after these prime guys in my lineup, just
Yep.
because I know he knows how to drive on these
Yep.
courses, and in 20th he will get some place differential.
Yeah. I'm Allmendinger over Harvick for me at that price point. So I'm in. Chastain, yes. Silly not to. High owned play.
He even did well in Xfinity today,
Yeah,
like
he did so
in
well.
a really bad car
Yeah.
too. It
Well,
was a
we're not
deep,
even gonna get to the point where we'll talk about Bowman.
yeah.
We were wrong on that one for Xfinity.
Yeah, so Chastain really like him here as long as, but he's the one as long as he doesn't try to take out Hamlin and screw himself in the for revenge for last week, but hopefully he like revenge is a dish best served cold, and hopefully he waits a couple weeks and takes him out like Michigan.
I mean, yeah, they're probably not even, but I'd wish for that to just
He said in the race, he said, "I'm taking notes and I'm going to remember this."
gosh. All right. Well, Kyle Larson 10-2. I could see I could see this being a pretty chalky play tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, he lost a tire at Coda, I believe, and
On that.
15 Sonoma, like he struggled a little bit there, but he did really well. Or was it Sonoma where he raced in Xfinity?
Yeah,
And
he won,
in
I believe.
no, he didn't win.
No, he won at Road America, right? No.
No, he hasn't won any. He was third at Road America, but
With the seven car,
Ty
yeah.
Gibbs passed him at the last lap, really clean,
There
I
it
believe.
is.
Yeah.
That's what it
So
was.
I mean, he's decent on road courses. He struggled a little bit this year. Again, if second most likely one to cut down a tire would be Kyle Larson behind Bubba
Yeah.
Wallace. So I
Mhm.
have him as a cash play. It just makes sense, but I don't think I can fit him in my lineup. So probably I'll have some ownership, but not a ton. Like you play the next guy down and look how much you're saving.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather play Byron. I've been doing a pretty good job of not playing too much Kyle Larson in my lineups this year, and it's actually kind of been very plus EV move. Because everybody just goes to the default thought that Kyle Larson is going to dominate, right?
It was
Or
the
he'll
same thing
be,
as Elliott last year. Like he
yeah,
in 20 he won. He won all the road courses, and last year he just couldn't sustain it. It was like the championship hangover.
yeah. Everyone thinks Larson's an auto top five, and I've just been profiting off the thought that it's not the case this year in the
Right.
new car. So, William Byron 8,700, yes, absolutely. The practice time's a little concerning, but I think and the form, Byron hasn't been in bad form. Um, I'm cautious, but I'm probably going to play him.
Yeah, I I like him in cash. He's not like a priority guy
Sure.
in the lineup, but I like him because the same thing. If he and Larson do the same exact thing like we expect them to do and get up into the top 10,
Yeah.
then you're getting so much more point per dollar of Byron. It's almost the same play as Larson, but you're saving almost 2 grand. So
See, I think he can only finish like 15th,
yeah,
and that means like 9 place differential points at 8,700. I could probably get higher finishing points with the 16 car. So that's kind of where I'm at. Cole Custer 6,300.
he could finish where he started. Like he's just kind of vanilla. He's just kind of there. If he last man in your lineup, I'm fine with it. I like
Rather play
we,
Haley.
yeah, exactly.
Yep. But I mean, sure, yeah, he might be in the pool, but man, he's starting a little too far forward. Martin Truex Jr. 96.
If it wasn't for that stupid pit stop in Sonoma, he would have top 10 there also,
Sure.
and
Yeah,
he
I
would
know that was the one.
yeah, and he would have he's been good in this car. Like probably besides Bell, he's probably the second best Toyota. So and the place differential's there. So I I think if you don't play him in cash, at least a GPP, there's no way he's going to finish 25th.
Right. I'm a little hesitant.
I
I
get
don't
it.
really have a good read on Truex. What I do have is a theory on Gibbs, though. Like, this kid's supposed to be a superstar, right?
Hmm.
Kurt Busch is on his way out. He's about to retire. Monster energy on both cars. I mean, do we have a moment here where Ty Gibbs top five potentially? I mean, the
Well,
car is
absolutely.
terrible, but the driver, it's possible.
Right. So the average here you're looking at is the average of Kurt Busch's car with Kurt Busch driving. So
Right.
the Toyotas have not been fast.
No.
And Ty Gibbs made some mistakes in Xfinity, and he didn't look great in practice in this because he's adjusting to a completely different style of car with a
And I
different
think
shifting.
going back and forth
But
screwed him up.
here, but here is the biggest variable that's going to help Ty Gibbs tomorrow. He is not racing for stage points.
Right.
Everybody ahead of him pretty much is. All there's this isn't like Xfinity where you have about maybe 18 of the drivers are actually running for the championship and the other ones are just random fill-ins every single week. This is a bunch of regulars and all the guys that are horrible are like 31st on back. So I think at 7K, he makes a really good case in GBP, and I think he's got winning upside. I think that they can tailor the strategy to have him pit early, to get into that window, to set him up. He's good on running on used tires because I don't think it's in his mind that he has to try to save him. He's just got one speed and it's go. And he's not out there to make any friends either. So, um,
I
uh,
love this GPP call
yeah,
tomorrow. I
yeah.
think it's, and I hope nobody plays him because they see like how bad he was in practice and nothing's set up right. I think it's all just because it's set up to Kurt Busch right now.
He ended up finishing ninth or 10th for in
Lap
Xfinity, and
averages.
he got sent to the back twice with like
Oh, I
two
thought you were talking
different.
about
He
practice.
he
Yeah.
he missed. He went over the forbidden orange corner for one of them, and he had like he spun out. Somebody spun him out early on in the race, so twice he had to work his way back through the field. So
See, I'm with you. I'm under the impression that tomorrow might be a Ty Gibbs moment, and I'm going to try to profit off it.
yep.
Joey Hand 5,700. It's not exactly the worst play in the world.
No, he might be one of the best point per dollar. I wish it wasn't a Rick Ware car, but this is probably one of the best Rick Ware cars.
Yeah.
But other than the 35th, and I don't think he was driving. I think somebody else was a mechanical issue. The other two races, he was in the top 20. So
Yeah, he's decent. And you know what? He's actually started further up in some of these other races that he's
yeah,
finished, in the 20s in. So getting a couple, if he finishes somewhere around 20th or 19th, those seven place differential points
yeah,
of 5,700, I'm in.
yep,
Alex Bowman, amazing race today in
yes,
Xfinity. Definitely going to take note of that. And I think he's going to be a high cash play.
yeah,
Burned me last week, but I'm going to go back to him.
yeah. I think he's going to be really good if he can keep the car clean back here with all these not as skilled drivers. Um,
Right.
So we saw one of our key guys get taken out today by like early on in the Xfinity race with being back with inexperienced guys. But the thing with Bowman that the commentator said was that he was if there was more laps there, he might have been able to win that race. But the key thing is he was watching Allmendinger drive this course to
Yeah.
see like where he had the speed, like what how he was handling the corners and kind of like mimicking him, which I
Mhm.
think is going to translate into success here. Second at Coda, 16th at Sonoma, 12th at Road America, 10th overall. 26 in practice, but then again, they did that practice, I believe, before the Xfinity race was run, right?
Correct. Correct.
So I think he's learned a lot, and I think it's going to really help him. I don't think he's going to win this race, but I definitely think he can get into the top 15, and 13 place differential points at 78 is great.
Yeah, I think Bowman might start off a little slow, but by the end of the race, you're going to see him get to that spot, kind of like what we saw with Brandon Jones today. Uh, Yeah, Austin Dillon 6,700. You have him here as prime. I'm interested into hearing why. Go ahead.
Well, besides Road America, where he got like knocked off the course, 10th in Coda, 11th in Sonoma, he actually ran the Xfinity race today, so he got extra practice, and he wasn't bad in the
Mhm.
48 car. I mean, he got knocked around a little bit, but he was able to keep it pretty much on the track. I don't exactly know where he finished, but at 6,700, he's better than a 29th place car. He's probably about 20th car, and still, like, there's no value down here, really.
Yeah.
So, like, I put him as prime play because he's pretty much the floor. Like, I'll give you a hand. I think definitely, but there's a little bit of risk with the equipment there. But this is a Richard Childress car with an experienced driver who's top 10 two out of the three ones and had an issue in one of them that probably really wasn't his fault, and he was 12th in practice. So that all adds up to me to be a really good, solid value play.
Yeah. I think there's only like maybe one or two others that are starting in this range. So I understand it. I'm probably going to be Team Haley tomorrow, but I'm going to have some pivots. So if Dylan's one of them, Dylan's one of them. All right. How about his brother Ty?
Same. He did okay in Xfinity also, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yep.
But again, like he's 6,000 compared to all the other guys down here. It's really someone that is in a better car with better equipment that could actually, even if he holds his own at 30th, it's decent at 6K.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 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 Look at the
but,
results.
but
They're pretty decent.
right, and 21st place car, but now the rest of them, LaJoy has been absolutely horrible, spun out of the practice.
No,
Balicki has not
maybe
been good at
not.
all.
Not.
Cody
Yeah.
Ware has not
No.
been good. Luis Henselman, his car has broken down
No.
every single time. It's been brakes, it's been
Yeah.
gearbox and stuff.
Penis. Yeah.
Eric Jones
Yep.
he had one good race at Coda. The rest of the ones he's been very slow at these road courses.
It's the
Practice was
starting
horrible.
spot. Yeah.
But and 7,100 is a little bit steep, but compared to the rest of these guys, I think there's definitely some place differential, at least to get up like 5 or 6 spots. I definitely prefer Dylan here for $400 less. Um, you
I
know,
also preferred Gibbs. Like in GBPs, I prefer Gibbs over
oh yeah,
Jones.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for like, if you already have Gibbs in your lineup, and you're looking for like a place differential play, then I think Jones is decent because he
Sure.
has been good at road courses, just not recently in this car.
And he just signed a big contract with Petty GMS. So he's
Yeah.
going to be back in the 43. That's got to be a good feeling heading into another race. Danil Kavat.
He was a Formula One driver, and I think Verstappen's the one that replaced him for the Red Bull team. So, I mean, he's a really, really good driver. It's just the only thing is, I look at his car, and he's got the second car on the Heselman's team,
Yeah, I can't
and
imagine
or
what that's going to be
Hesberg,
like.
and this the first car is horrible. Like so, like how bad? And I guess the other thing too is every time I think of the 26 car, I think of Jimmy Spencer and the Kmart car, and that does
Yep,
not exactly scream, quality to me.
not at all. Interesting. I'm going to fade Team Hesberg. Josh Williams.
How? How? Why? Out of everybody that you could pick out of why don't you just throw like Haley Deegan in here or somebody
Seriously.
or Jesse
Seriously.
Inua, put or Kyle Weatherman. Like there 100,000 people we could have put in here, but
At
Josh
least Haley
Williams.
Deegan gets you some like marketing ability. Like Josh Williams. Why?
Bring Danica Patrick back for one race.
Right. You could do anything with that car and somebody will recognize your team. You could get even a better sponsor with somebody else like that. Just a stupid move. Ricky Stenhouse.
This was a hard one because
This is a hard one.
he's been bad at road courses,
Dead
but
last.
he has floor here
Yes,
because
he
he
does.
can't go anywhere, and there's
Can't
so
fade
many
him.
cars that are so bad, and that's what we said about Brandon
Yeah.
Brown. Like he was driving the 47 car for Harmon, but he ended up picking up 5 spots because of all the other cars that just didn't even make it like
Yeah.
5, 10 laps into the race.
Yep.
And I think he can do that. So,
He's
and
getting
Brandon
at
Brown,
least
I don't
25th.
think he was optimal, but definitely, was a really good value play. I think he had like 28 or 30 points or something like that
Yeah.
at one
See,
point when I looked at him. So I think Stenhouse the same thing. No, is he going to win this race? Absolutely not.
no.
Might he finish 30th? But that's fine at 6,100. You kind of need that.
Yeah, it's 6,100. He's probably going to finish at least 10 spots ahead of
He's
where
probably he might be the second highest owned guy here too.
you have to.
Yeah.
You just have to swallow it. It's not going to feel good, but you got to play it.
He was the last guy in cash, and I was just
Yep.
in my lineup, and I was just trying to like figure out like the two
Yeah,
v twos. Like
and
I had
that's how
the
you'll
other,
lose.
I had Elliot
Yep.
Chastain, Dylan in there, and then I was like flirting with like AJ and him, and like is there a better option flexing between the two of them? I can't give you my sixth guy because then I can't give you
No,
the full lineup, but
yeah.
um, so like just flexing between the two of them, just trying to figure out like who. But I'll sleep on it. I got some time.
Yeah, I like Ricky. You got to play him. All right, wrapping it up. Any last final thoughts?
No, just hope stay in the 20s. Don't play too many guys up top. Place differential is the key.
Yep. And if you have to be overweight on the value and change it around when you get to these guys in the 8K, 9K range, I think that's probably going to be a very good GPP strategy. Don't forget Ty Gibbs going to be that random top 5 play tomorrow. Going to make some noise in the Cup Series, and he's going to get the potential future replacement to the 45 and the 2311. While Tyler Reddick probably gets his own new number. Who knows? I'm just speculating here, but we're almost at silly
It might be
season. I'm
the
looking
18th.
forward.
So yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
All right, guys, enjoy tomorrow's race at the Indianapolis, and I think we have the Verizon 200, if I remember
Yep.
correctly. Nothing crazy, but all right, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at TKNation47. You can follow him at MegaRoll31. Please like this video, comment below with any questions you may have. You can find us on our website, FSIDFS.com, or on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. Enjoy
And
tomorrow's
also on a
race.
podcast now.
And podcast, I forgot Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find us there. All right, guys, thank you and enjoy tomorrow's race.